Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 11 of the anime series, Zankyou no Terror, or Terror in Resonance. For all intents and purposes, the series finale, and I gotta say, this finale really pulled no punches. That's one of the things I love about series creator Shinichiro Watanabe, and the way he, handles his series, from Cowboy Bebop to Samurai Champloo, Kids on the Slope. He really pulls no punches, and he follows through where the story needs to go. It's not where you want the story to go, it's where it needs to go. And we're pretty much picking up right where we left off for this finale episode, with 12 beaten and bloodied, stumbling his way back to the center of Tokyo and basically colliding with Lisa as the masses are being sort of told to evacuate. And they have the whole city, the ground defense forces at the ready to help people get out of the city, because they know there's an atomic bomb floating overhead somewhere in the skies, and it's basically a rush to locate this thing. Shibazaki is among those investigators and the police force trying to figure out where this thing might have launched from and where it's going to go. And through talking to his daughter once again, he basically finds out that there is such a thing as, exploding one of these things in the sky, which will basically preserve all life, but at the same time create a massive EMP force, which will take out all electricity in the entirety of the city, probably, the surrounding areas as well. And that's pretty much what 9 and 12, with their Sphinx mission, their mission statement, that's exactly what they wanted to do from the get-go. And their impetus was really about just bringing awareness of this tyranny, of this manipulation of children, all these lives lost because of experimentations being done on them, and the covert, sort of black government ops and all this kind of stuff that they've kept hidden. The American side wanted to expose this as well, and they were going to basically use 9 and 12's actions as an excuse to do so, but at the end of the day, they had sort of working in tandem with them, sort of against them, but sort of on the same side as them as well, was Shibazaki. And as we see, by the culmination, we basically have 9 going back to their old stomping ground. This is where, as Shibazaki figures out, they wanted everything to lead to, so they could expose all of this stuff that was going on and being done to them, the abuses that was unfolding through governmental factions and orders and all this stuff, of which they were the only 3 survivors, along with 5 who, of course, blew herself up in the previous episode. So it's just absolutely a compounding and compelling story by the end, because, of course, we see the American forces realize now, we can't take any more chances with these two. We have to neutralize them to save face, because we've been manipulated. We had somebody we thought we were working with, that being 5, and she was a wild card and everything like that. So once the shot is fired and we see basically 12's chest explode, I was completely just dumbstruck, basically thunderstruck by that moment, seeing him fall lifeless to the ground. And I was like, I can't believe they just killed the young, vibrant character of this particular duo. Not that I wanted to see either of them have to perish, but shortly thereafter, once Shibazaki has kind of talked back 9 from exploding this other apparent nuclear, warhead that he had, I don't know whether it was a bluff or whether it was another weapon he had control of, basically 9 hands to Shibazaki the little button that would, set this thing off, and we see that 9 is suffering the same headaches as 5 has. This is probably a holdover from whatever the experimentations were being done on them as children, and only with the assurance, with the solemn promise of the honorable man that Shibazaki is, that he would see this through to the end, that he would carry on, basically Sphinx's mission of exposing all of this stuff that had happened. Does finally 9 give in to this pain and let himself die as well? And so there you have it. By the end, it picks up a year later, a semi-epilogue, where basically we see Lisa has gone back to visit their graves, and as she's leaving, Shibazaki's coming to say his respects as well after, the 1-year anniversary. And I love their exchange of words, finally revealing the fact that in this instance, the, VON, the letters VON, Von, what it translated to, it pertained to the Icelandic music that 9 was very fond of, and it was a Icelandic saying, basically, that meant hope. you know, what more can you hope for by the end but a symbol of hope? And that's what they left. That's what they gave their lives to basically embody. And the idea that they had to bring the entire sort of technological converse to its knees in order to expose such grotesque things that were going on, and then had to lose their lives to boot because of what was happening to them from childhood. It's just a very compelling and, you know, punch to the gut by the end that does leave you feeling sad. It's very depressing to see these characters die. But like I said, it pulled no punches by the end, and that's all because of Watanabe's, you know, confidence in telling the story the way it needed to be told. And I can see some people potentially being dissatisfied with this ending, and even me to a certain degree. I liked these characters very much, Shibazaki being my favorite, but of course seeing Shibazaki and Lisa live on and having been touched and moved by their lives and what their mission statement was, hopefully we will see hope embodied in these two characters if we can see clearly enough what the ending and what the purpose of the story was that was being told. And once again, just brilliant music in the finale from Yoko Kanno, that little melodic sort of piano piece or harpsichord piece, whatever you want to call it, just haunting and beautiful ever since the first time I heard it. I think it was coinciding with Lisa's debut in the series. Just fantastic. Just a beautiful, eloquent, you know, neatly wrapped bow by the end for the finale of the series. It was an adventure every step of the way, kept me on the edge of my seat, and by the end, it literally, you know, with the explosion of that atom bomb and with the explosion of those cocked rifles taking the lives of our two heroes, who were sort of anti-heroes in a sense, you know, they never took a life, but it was in question whether they were on the good side or the bad all the way through. You know, basically that's it. The impact has hit home by the end, and what a resounding series this was. So, yeah, pretty much that's going to be it for me on this. I really enjoyed this series, and I can't wait to watch it eventually again when it's released on DVD. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of the series overall, if you watched it, if you stuck with it, or, you know, if you just tuned into this finale, and whether you liked it or not, let me know. And otherwise, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.